Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Shadowverse Evolve Dragoncraft deck profile for post-advent of Genesis. The Dragoncraft deck is a deck that focuses on being able to build up your play points to then, once you hit 7 play points, go into Overflow, an ability that gives you an additional bonus on top of your other cards. And the very powerful Dark Dragoon Forte allows you to easily evolve this card with the Storm ability, then being able to hit for heavy damage against your opponent and their play points. We use the different dragon monsters or followers in this deck as well for this playstyle. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for our followers, our main go-to pressured unit is our Dark Dragoon Forte. You can evolve this card with 2 play points, and it has Storm. So with Storm, you can just attack your opponent's leader the turn you play this card, and then just for 2 costs, you can evolve this unit into your Dark Dragoon Forte evolved, which we'll go over with the evolved deck. So 3 copies of this card, having the 5 damage it can deal on top of the 1 shield, means it can be easily defeated, but it's meant to hit for some pretty big damage for just a 4 of cost. We're also running the 3 copies of Zenertra. You put a dragon token into your EX area with its fanfare, and then for a play point cost of 2 and resting this follower, you can select a dragon token in your EX area and put it into your field and give it rush. And if Overflow is active, you recover 2 play points. So with its initial fanfare, just being able to put a dragon token into your EX area, which basically acts as a second hand, giving you this token as a potential card to play as well, and then just giving it the additional rush, meaning it can attack your opponent's followers on the turn it's played also. We're also running 3 copies of Fafnir, with this card being an 8 cost to play. On fanfare, deal 5 damage to each enemy follower on the field. So it's each one including your own, but just as being a card you can call out solo on the field, you have the option to give those enemy followers that initial damage and then wipe out a good part of the field for a 8 cost card. And then we're also running the 2 copies of Genesis Dragon. This is definitely a late game card. Having Storm, but being a cost of 9, means if your opponent doesn't have any followers with Ward on the field, you can swing with this card for 10 damage to your opponent's leader, which most of the time when you play this card is enough what you need right then and there to finish off the game to begin with. And we're also running 3 copies of Shenlong, with this card having a fanfare, or with the end 2 to evolve, the evolve cost to evolve this follower, and then with a fanfare to draw 2 cards and then discard 1, getting through your deck a little faster with this card, and then having the Ward ability. So with Ward, you rest the follower, and then your opponent has to attack into the follower with the Ward before they can attack into your leader. And we also run 2 copies of Dragon Guard. With Ward, this follower can be engaged when it's put into your field, or during your end phase. When a followers with Ward are engaged, your opponent can only attack them. And if Overflow is active for you, you give this follower +2 shield and +2 attack as well. So you have the additional shield gain, meaning it has 7 shield total that your opponent has to, hit over. But it's only with Overflow for its fanfare, so you have to be at 7 play points to be able to use this ability. And we're also running 3 copies of Aelia Dragon Knight, where it's a sale, and also last words to increase your maximum play points by 1. So when this card is removed from the field with its last words active, you just get 1 additional play point, which could potentially put you ahead of your opponent, or just put you to your Overflow that much more quickly. It's definitely one of the cards that your opponent may try to avoid, eliminating on the field, because otherwise they'll just be increasing your points that much more quickly to begin with. And also 2 copies of Dragon Warrior, with just an evolved play point cost of 1 to evolve this follower into your evolved Dragon Warrior, which gives an enemy follower on the field 3 damage, so you can hit for some pretty big numbers with this card as well. And also 3 copies of Shape-Shifting Mage, with the evolved cost of 1. And fanfare, if Overflow is active, you give this follower an additional +3 shield and +3 attack also. For some of the other cards we're running lower numbers for, we're running 2 copies of Fire Lizard. With Fanfare, select an enemy leader or an enemy follower on the field and deal it 1 damage. This could potentially be the game-winning play, depending on where your opponent's life stands, or just the needed damage to, finish off an enemy follower on the field also. With also running 2 copies of Dragon Newt Princess. If Overflow is active with its Fanfare, select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 4 damage. So just the additional 4. And Overflow, if your maximum number of play points is at least 7, once again. So 4 damage for Overflow, just an easy 2 cost follower to call out onto the field also. With the last of our followers being 2 copies of Dragon Newt Scholar with Intimidate and Strike to draw a card and discard a card on top of that also. For our spells, we're running the 3 copies of Dragon Oracle. Just another good early game card to provide you with more play points. You choose one of the following effects. You can increase your maximum play points by 1, or you can draw a card. So later on, if you already are at your maximum play points, it still provides you with an ability to at least draw a card, but normally you do just want to increase your play points to get to Overflow that much more quickly. And then also 2 copies of Dragon Wings. You deal 2 damage to each enemy follower on the field. If Overflow is active, you deal 3 instead. So the better card to use as well, just for more damage to deal against your opponent. And also 2 copies of Blazing Breath with the quick ability. You can select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 2 damage. And you deal 4 if Overflow is active. With the last of our spells just being the 3 copies of Trail of Light. It has the draw ability, but also mostly used for the Shenlong discard to gain an additional draw on top of the draw 2 we have with this follower. For our Evolved deck, we are running the 2 copies of the Shenlong Evolved with Ward, and on Evolve, give your leader +5 shield. So it's a good 5 recovery to give back to your leader. On top of being the Ward ability, resting this, and then your opponent has to hit for 6 damage into it. The 2 copies of Shapeshifting Mage, just because our evolved numbers take more of a precedence against some of the other cards. The 1/3 potential spot could be with the 1 Dragon Warrior here. So you have the Assail and Bane with your evolved Shapeshifting Mage, and then also the 2 additional copies of your Dragon Warrior on evolve, selecting an enemy follower on the field and dealing it 3 damage, with the final card in our evolved deck being the 3 copies of Dark Dragoon Forte. You have the evolution cost from your original Dark Dragoon Forte, just being a cost of 2 with a play cost of 4. And then when this card evolves, it has Storm and Aura, so you're able to easily hit into your opponent's leader for 7 damage. And then with Aura, your opponent cannot target this card for damage dealt, so they have to either just swing into it when they're swinging back at this card as well. You'll be dealing 7 damage to them, so they will be more likely, destroying this follower on the field, but still taking some massive damage when this card attacks them right back. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow his Dragoncraft deck for the video. I hope you all are enjoying the Shadowverse Evolved videos on the channel as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.